Hi friends, thanks for joining me today. So in today's card tutorial, I am going to be making this cute little card, although not this really, because this is just my sample. I did follow Connie Stewart's card a few weeks ago, and I thought it was really cute. It looked really hard, but she made it so easy, so I hope I can do the same for you. I did change it up a little bit, and here, let me show you what it does. So it's this cool little side panel here. Isn't that cute? And you've got the back side to write your message. I, of course, put all my measurements back here. But the nicest thing is it folds flat and it fits nicely into your A2 size envelope. It may require extra postage, but it's worth it. All right, so I'm going to keep this aside, so we have that there for reference. Be sure to stay to the end because I will show you my other card samples that are so stinking cute. So I am using Turtley Awesome stamp set and the dies. I did do some die cutting and stamping ahead of time just to save time. I'm also using the Turtle Textures embossing folder. You know, I don't know if I think I may have done this once or twice, used this folder, but not very much. So I don't want to forget to use that. And then my watercolor pencils. So let's get started. So I have a Early Espresso card base, which is 4 1/4 by 11. I am not going to go through all the measurements because, as you know, I like to send out the PDF with all the measurements and the products that I used in the video tutorial. So if you're interested and you'd like to make a purchase, you can just click on that link or scan the QR code and that'll bring you to my store, which then you can order this product, or if you don't like this, you can order something else. Or better yet, use what you have. All right, so let me take out my parts and pieces here. I'm not sure if I'm going to use all these, but, well, the die cut cake anyway. I'm not sure if I'm going to use that. So, all right, let's start by folding this. So I'm going to get my bone folder out. And my first one is to fold it in half. And then we're just going to crease it with our bone folder. I like to do both sides. Okay, and then basically what I'm going to do is the part here that's going to go on the left, I'm just going to fold those all in. Am I doing this right? No, I'm not doing this right. These are folding out like these, okay? So those are valley folds, those two end pieces. And these, you've got 3 mountain pieces. So when you glue this together, you get this, okay? Or depending on which side you want it on. Could go on either side, doesn't matter. So I am not going to adhere this. I found that it's much easier to work with this flat than it was to work with having that adhered. So I'm just going to lay that flat like that. And I am going to start by adhering some pieces. And then I'm going to bring my cut and emboss machine out. And I am going to emboss those little side panels, which are going to go here, rather than using DSP. My other samples, I did use DSP. But these I figured, you know what? It's time to pull out that what's it called again? Turtle Textures embossing folder, which is perfect for this card. Because it's all about turtles. All about those turtles and celebrating someone's birthday. Now, if I can pick that up. Okay, so let's put this down. So once you have all your parts and pieces down and cut, it really goes together pretty quickly. Shouldn't be doing it on that dark background because I can't see that I'm going straight on here. And lately I've had this habit of going off the camera. Oh well, it's staying like that. It's a little too far up, but that's okay. That's okay. The recipient's not going to know the difference, right? I'll probably do the same thing on the other panel, just so that it's even on both pieces. All right, so we're going to put this here. And then once that's down, I'll get my embossing machine. All right, let's close up the glue. Oh, one more piece that I have is this 3/4 inch by 3 inch, I think. And this is what the pop-up mechanism is. I don't know why, but to me this reminds me of a frog. Right? Ribbit, ribbit, ribbit. Anyway, okay. Enough of the frogs, right? Okay. Just got to get some fun in, right? All right, let's get that machine out. Right, so here we go. I've got my base plate 1 and my adapter number 4 is this one. Okay, so I've got 4 pieces of crushed curry, and we're going to pull out our Turtle Textures embossing folder. Let's see how I want to put these on here. And can I get all 4 at this? I mean, they do fit. The question is, what size do I want those to be? Meaning, what size the, what do you call those? I guess the spots from the turtle? Are they spots? They're really not spots. I don't know what they're called. Tell me in the comments if you know what they're called. I mean, it's on their shell. You know what? I guess it's just a shell. It's just their shell, I guess is really what it's called. All right, so let me just close that up and see if I like that. You know what? I think I'm going to go with it. You know what? Because I've got 2 that are larger and then the 2 small ones. Actually, I don't think this is a 3D folder, so I don't need that number 4. No, I think this is just a regular folder. I don't know why this keeps moving on me. Come on, just stay in there for me, okay? Right there. So let me get the other plates that I need for this. So we're going to lift this up again very carefully. Put that down. Actually, let me use, which one's flatter? Those pretty bowed. Okay, this one's flatter. I'll go with this one. Oh, and look at that. I lost a piece again. Sometimes by trying to save time, you end up wasting more time and you keep readjusting things. All right, so let's go this way like that. I recently learned that if you offset your plates a little, you don't get that big bump. So let's see if that's true. I know I do that with my mini, but only because it doesn't grab. So this one I never had a problem with grabbing, but let's see if that works. Where aren't you going in? All right, there we go. Okay. Maybe it only works with the gray plate to do that. Oh, they moved around again. Look at that. Let's see if it's okay. Let's see how bad it moved around. And if we can deal with it. What do you think? Yeah, I think it's all right. It did lean on. This piece leaned on there, but it wasn't too bad. So I think we'll use it. We'll use it. Nobody will look that closely at it. I certainly wouldn't. Or maybe I would because I'm a card maker. Actually, I probably wouldn't look that closely at it because that's just not right. That's just not right. Okay, so let's put these pieces down on each panel. Okay. Put that one there. Oh, before I do that though, so let's decide which is the back. I think this is going to be the back, so I can put these panels down. I don't want to put these 2 panels yet because I need to put a little frog piece down. So, all right. So let's put these down. And you can use either side. Actually, let's look at the other side of this to see. I think I'm going to use the other side. What do you think? Why not, right? I guess it doesn't really matter. Pick a side. All right, we're going with the other side. We're going with the deboss side. Only because I think you don't see that area where the cardstock overlapped. It's the only reason. All right, so I'm just looking for that equal-ish spacing. Okay. I forgot which was the top and which was the bottom, so okay, we're going to do this. I think that's the top. This is the bottom. So again, you can, these panels can be just layering pieces, which when you see my other card, that's what I did. These were my layering pieces, and then I used designer series paper over it. But I thought for something different, let's do a little embossing, because embossing just makes the card just that much prettier. Okay, so now we have this piece here, this funny looking piece. I'm just going to put some adhesive on this side for now, because what I want to do is I want to close it, and I want to center it on my early espresso piece before putting these down, because then this little mechanism will be hidden and nobody will know it's there. So here, let's zoom in just a little bit. I should probably burnish this just to make it nice and even. We still want it to pop, but we do want it to stay. On this side. And we'll burnish that. There's something under my nail that keeps digging in my skin. Not sure what it is. All right, so I'm just going to add a little bit of glue to one side. And again, I'm trying to get it so that it goes right up to the score line there. So I'm just going to, and it doesn't matter, you know, decide where you want it on your, you know, whether you want it higher, lower. There's really no right or wrong. It's just more like, where would you like it to go? Where do you want your sentiment to go? Because this piece is going to hold our sentiment. So let's make sure that's okay. And I think it is. I don't want it right on the score line, but just right just up to the score line. Okay, so now we're going to add, actually, rather than doing on that, I'm going to put the adhesive here. I just think that makes it so much easier this way than me struggling with that piece. I'm trying to hold it and glue it and, you know, all that. So let's just put this piece right here, although I do need two. There we go. Okay, so I'm just going to hold it there just so it doesn't move. And let's see. Do that right. Make sure this still closes. Okay, good. We are good then. Okay. All right. Now we can put these pieces down. Okay. So we're just going to add liquid glue, and you can use Seal for this as well. Although I will tell you that if you're using Seal, use Seal Plus because of the embossing. A lot of detail, so it could, you know, it could move on you. It could like pop off. All right, so you see what I did there? I just hit that little panel. So now you can't see that. And this will be behind the sentiment, so you won't see that. All right, so once this piece is down, oh, did you see that? I just gooshed some glue. Gooshed some glue there. Yeah, I did. So there. So there you go. So far, so good. So I'm not going to glue these down yet because after I put the white pieces, after I stamp, then we'll do those. So let's do a little stamping. All right, so we've got, so I already cut this out. I fussy cut it, believe it or not. Here's my hooray that's going on the front here, just like so. Okay, this piece, so I'm going to put this little guy on the front, and we'll put him on dimensionals. And the cake, I think I'm going to put the cake right alongside here, kind of like so. Okay, and I'm going to put some music notes right about there. All right, so let's, I think I'm going to just adhere this guy without dimensionals. I'm just, because I feel that the card is already bulky, and I don't want to add too much bulk. So I'm just going to add some glue. And I am using the Turtley Cute Designer Series paper. And some of the parts of the paper you can actually cut with the dies. This piece, like I said, was fussy cut, but they're very easy to cut, even for me, who I don't like to fussy cut. That's why I did it ahead of time. Give me a little guy. All right, so we're just going to put him down. Right about there, I think. Should be good. Okay, and then we're going to lay the, actually we're going to pop the cake up. So let's put a dimensional, I think one should be just perfect on the cake. And we're going to put it since we don't want the cake to look like it's just floating in air, let's use my basic gray, and we're going to put a little bit of something underneath the little guy too, just so he doesn't look like he's floating, right? Because that would look kind of funny. So we're just going to add a little bit of color underneath this feet, kind of like a shadow. And I am using my color pencils, my watercolor pencils, and I don't know which assortment this comes from, but I have both. I just keep them in one stamp case, and I put the colors from the cardboard on there. So I know that they came out with different ones, but I have the original one, so yeah, okay. And then we'll put a little bit underneath the cake, just so we know that it's not floating in thin air, because that would be pretty magical, wouldn't it? Pretty magical. Okay, so that's that. Let's get some memento, and we'll stamp our musical notes. We'll do a few right up here. So, okay. And what else? I'm going to stamp this on here. Let me just make sure if this fits. Now it's too long. So I'm going to have to do this on an angle so that we can get the whole thing in. All right, so let's, actually, you know what? Let me do this in early espresso. Yeah, okay. So let's just clean that quick. I want to stamp my cake with the memento. Actually, you know what? Let's do that first. So I give it a minute to dry, because then I'm going to use my watercolor pencils on it. So we'll stamp that right there. Okay, good. And let's put our So I'm just going to hover this over to see where I need to go. I think right about there should be good. And you know what? If it doesn't come out right, we can always flip it over. But it looks good, so we're going to go with that. Okay. So all the stamping is done, I believe. All right, let's get our watercolor pencils and do some coloring. Now, watercolor pencils, normally you can either use your water brush, an aqua painter. Let me close this. Or our blender pens. I've lately been using my Wink of Stella to push the ink around because I just think it's nice. It adds some sparkle and it just looks so pretty. So, oops, not that. We don't want to use that. But either one works. If you do use your blender pen or even the Wink of Stella, you really need to get the stays on ink. I'm lazy, so that's why I did this first, so we can let it dry a little bit before I put something wet to it. Okay, so we're just going to add some color. I'm putting some basic gray on the plate, and you can use any color that you like. Let's do chocolate, because who doesn't like chocolate cake? Although I know people that don't like chocolate. Can you believe that? Yeah, I couldn't either, but it is true. Let me know, do you like chocolate or you prefer vanilla? I personally am more of a chocolate kind of girl, so that's what I like. Oh, you know what I forgot? I need to get my Daffodil Delight. Or, you know what, let's do crushed curry, which is this one here for our candles. Let's finish with the pink. We've got Flirty Flamingo. And then we're going to do some crushed curry. I don't know why my dog is barking, although yes, I do know why she's barking. My husband and son are down in the basement. I'm upstairs on my second floor, and she's wondering where everybody is. She's getting to be a little old dog, and yeah. She doesn't go down the stairs by herself anymore. You have to pick her up, so it gets a little annoying. Just a little bit. But she's still a cutie. She's a little cutie. trying to think, what should I do? You know, let's do this granny apple green. We're doing all sorts of colors on this cake. Yeah, because you know what, cakes are colorful, aren't they? All right. Put these back in the box so I don't lose them, or they don't go rolling on the floor, and then my little kitties find new things to play with. All right, so let's put some Wink of Stella on here. And I'm going to start with the candles. Now, you probably can't see the shine on here. I mean, I can see it, but you probably can't. Let's get a piece of scrap paper, and we'll just clean that off. So you do want to clean whether you're using a blender pen or the Wink of Stella between each use, because you don't want to mix the colors. That would look kind of funny, right? Although I guess if you're using a light color first, that's why I like to go light first and then dark. You can do that. But I actually prefer, just out of habit, to wipe it clean. And then we'll do the chocolate. Mix that around a little bit. Just do swirls. Nice sparkly cake. And we're good. All right. All right, so let's put these pieces down. So this is the front of our card, right? So let's put this little guy down. We'll do this. So I am very excited because in a week from tomorrow, I will be going to On Stage, which is in California this year. And I'm so excited to see a lot of my friends. I'm actually traveling with a friend of mine from New York who recently joined my team. And I talked her into going with me, and she's super excited about going. So we're going to be flying out to California together. We're going to be rooming together. Also, oops, one more thing I want to do with this. Hang on. So because this piece, the early espresso, was a little too short, I wanted it to be a little longer. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to dip just the edges in here. So it kind of looks like it's the whole piece, right? So just the edge, just give it a little bit. Do you see how it's just subtle? So, yeah, so we're going to be going, and I'm really excited. She's excited as well, because this will be her very first one. And I hope she's just as excited and starstruck like I was when I first went. Because it's going to be super fun. Super fun. Can't wait. Cannot wait. Okay, and then we'll put this guy in the back. And we can glue the card together. And we'll put some pretty gems on here. You know, I think I still have my camera zoomed in a little. That's why I keep going off camera. So let me just add this piece, and then I will zoom it back out. Now that we're at the end of the video. Okay, here we go. No, I still need this. Okay, so the last thing we're going to do is I'm going to add glue on one panel, and we're going to glue it shut. This is one of those times that you can actually glue your whole card shut. All right, so watch this. And I'm going to take that front piece, and we're just going to lay it right down. But see how much easier it is to have all those pieces on there first? So, and then you just want to make sure that it's even and it looks perfect. And there you go. How cool is that? I love that. I think that's such a cute design. And really, like I said, super easy to do. Super easy. All right, let's get some pretty gems. So I am using the Shades of Green hexagons. We'll add a few of these. Oh, no. Okay, I gotta get that because I don't want to lose it. It was the cap from my Take Your Pick tool. All right, so what colors are we going to use? Let's go with, let's go with this green. And put one down here, maybe. No, let's put one up here. We'll start with the top. And then, how about we do one of these? We're going to go a couple of different colors. I'll put this one down here. Oops, that one is stuck. Right there. And then we'll do another We'll do this one on the top. Right about there. And here. Perfect. How cute. How cute is that? I hope you enjoyed that. I enjoyed making it, and I'm so happy that I found this video from Connie Stewart. Great job. Love, love, love how it stands. And you've got a little space here to write a message. So just adorable. So here, let me show you my other cards. So this one here is for a sweet friend. I made this actually for Sharon Armstrong because she recently had surgery. So I wanted to just send her a pretty card just to boost her morale a little bit. Hopefully I'll see her at On Stage in a couple of weeks. Or actually, oh my gosh, next week. What am I saying? So there you go. It's okay to take it slow. And as you can see, I did use designer series paper on this one. So if you're wondering where did I get this die cut cake, it's actually from the back side of the designer series paper. So you'll see that the cakes are here, and there's, you know, they're chocolate. I think the ones that I have here, nope, there's one. There's a vanilla one too. So you got them in chocolate and vanilla, and it's the back side of that. So how cool is that? So these will die cut using the dies and also the ice cream. And as I said, some of the cardstock you can cut with the dies. And here's the third one, another birthday cake. Birthday cake, listen to me, another birthday card. So how cute is that? How cute are they? So friends, which one's your favorite? I know, so hard to choose, right? But I really like them both, whether you use the embossing folder or the designer series paper. They both work equally well. Try them out with stuff that you have at home, or if you're interested, check out my website. Friends, thanks again for watching, for liking my video, commenting, and sharing it with your friends. I appreciate you, and I appreciate you as a customer, and have a great day. Bye-bye.